Hello everyone, it is time for another Bevins Bricks City update. I want to start off by talking about this down here. In one of my previous videos, I started showing people how I was going to start putting an overhead power grid system throughout the entire city. And part of the reason why I have not continued doing any work on this or showing anything else that's going to be happening is I'm waiting on these little string parts. I ordered a bunch of these little string parts that I intend on using for being able to hook power from the power poles down to the trailers and other buildings throughout the city. And I did that almost 8 weeks ago. And because that is not a bestseller item on Lego's website, I am still waiting on those to be delivered, and that is kind of what the hold up is down here. Whenever I get those back though, I will be coming to this end of the table to do a lot more work and to fill in the greenery with some trees and other things. But let's get back to this end of the table. Last week, I had everything laid out on the table. Now I've got all my pieces kind of cut and filled in. I still got to do a little bit more fill in with the plates over here, but I've started to do some of the fill in down here for where the train tracks are. And one of the things I wanted to point out is I am doing some subtle elevation changes. And I like to bring this up all the time because people constantly ask me, how do you do elevation changes? And this is a great example of that. I do every 16 studs, I will change the height by 1 plate when I'm doing an elevation change. And then I just lay the track down on top of that. And it works really well because the train doesn't struggle when it's going over a very slight and slow elevation change like this. And that's really important to note because if you do a drastic elevation change, what would happen is your cars either come uncoupled or in a lot of cases, the wheels will start spinning and the train won't move. But another thing I wanted to touch on. After playing around with the track, I solved the issue on what I was talking about last week about possibly making a unique or special piece to connect my train track together. What I ended up doing is instead of having it come over, down, and then out this way, I just went ahead and went back to the old way of doing stuff with Lego, and what that is you've got to have 180 degrees of turn anytime you're doing a turnaround. Because on that end of the table, I have a 90-degree turn there and a 90-degree turn there. So in order to keep the tracks lined up, I had to do 180 degrees or 290 degrees, or in this case, what I did is a 45 and a 45, which gives me my 90. And then I have the other 90-degree turn to give me my 180. And by doing that, my track now perfectly aligns as it should. Now I want to give you some insight as to what I plan on doing for my layout. Over here, I'm going to be doing a small subdivision. And if you've never seen or heard of this set, I just wanted to point out this is an awesome set to buy if you would like to make a small subdivision in your city. This build is perfect in size. I say this because number one, let's set it down here next to some of the trailers. It is obviously bigger than the trailers, which the houses in my city should be. So we're trying to keep things on scale. And it's just small enough that it's smaller than my smallest buildings on Main Street, which to me, houses throughout a subdivision in the Lego City should be smaller than the businesses you have on Main Street. Because I liked that set so much, I've built a total of 3 more houses. Now I'm looking at probably building maybe 6 or 7 more in that particular size, maybe not that many. But my thought is, on this end of the town, what I'm going to do is put one street straight down the middle here and put houses on either side of the street. Then over here on the other side of the train track, I thought would be the perfect place to put in a small town church. And to do that, I've built this. To give you some quick information about this church, this is a design that was originally designed by Bay State Bricks. It's somebody that I communicate with and follow on Instagram. And I loved what he did so much, I wanted to mimic it as close as possible. I've made a few very subtle changes, but the most noticeable change you'll see is I am using smaller windows, and I did shrink the build down about 6 studs in width and a total of 12 studs in length because I felt the original build was a bit large. And this is a great time to point out, this is an amazing use for masonry bricks. Anytime you're using masonry bricks, if you put them on the back side, you just get the lines that go from side to side. And just to show you, I did this on my houses as well because this gives the nice look of siding. I also use this technique on the trailers in my trailer park, and I think it adds a lot of character to a build. Now, the inside of this, I have not done anything with yet, but I do want to point out you can see the stained glass windows that I sell on my website, because I do fully intend on illuminating this. So this build will really pop once it's added to the city and the lighting has been added as well. I do also plan to make some other style houses besides just those, because with an old town, typically what you had is a variety of different architectures throughout the city's growth. So this is my downtown Main Street. Somewhere close to Main Street, I'm going to put some small Victorian-style houses, and I'm probably going to locate those within the vicinity of the church. I'm thinking another street right here with a few Victorian homes. And then over here, I'm kind of considering putting in a small high school, because you gotta have a school in a Lego city. Over here, once I get some more of the fill in, I'm going to be putting in a parking area right there. And then right here, I'm going to be putting in a new factory. And this is the factory that I've been working on. This is modeled after a Walthers model, HO train model. And I really liked the look of it, and I thought this would look great in my Lego city. Something real quick to point out, these printed roof pieces are available for sale on my website. And this will be the new home of this building. Now, to bring up texture like I did on the church, I did something different with this particular build. I did use masonry bricks in spots where windows or doorways have been boarded over. But because I have an absolutely huge, and I mean huge, surplus of 1x2 and 1x1 plates in dark red, I decided to do this entire build with those plates. And yes, it took a long time, but it gives you a nice natural texture of masonry brick on the building's exterior. And even though it did take a long time, I feel like the finished product is really worth it. The worst part about working with dark red or even dark reddish brown is if you have older pieces like I do, a lot of it crumbles as you're using it. And I was getting frustrated while I was building this, but what I ended up doing is I decided to have a little fun. And when bricks broke, like you can see here and here, I went ahead and left them on the building because I thought it added some unique texture and character to the side of the build. So a fun note is don't throw away all your broken old pieces. Try and recycle them and put them on builds to give them some unique character. Anyway, that's all for this week's City Update, guys. Hopefully we'll have more next week, and we'll see you next time on Bevins Bricks.